right, we've got one more problem to review today. Here we go. Dwayne misses 12% of his foul shots in basketball. Let's write that down. That might be important. Dwayne misses 12% of his foul shots. Brian misses 0.2. So Brian over here is missing 0.2 of his foul shots. Write 12% and 0.2 as fractions in simplest form. Compare the fractions to determine who misses more foul shots. All right. So we have numbers that are percentages, fractions, decimals. We have three different ways to write numbers, really. And we need to be able to convert fluently between all of them and to understand what we're actually talking about and actually compare them. So we've got decimals, we've got fractions, and we've got percentages. Okay? Right here we have a decimal that we need to convert into a fraction. That's our objective, is to convert this into a fraction, and we have a percentage that is going to be converted into a fraction. Let's start with the easy one. All right, 12%. Well, a percent is just, what is a percent? Instinctively, your answer should be it's a number out of 100. So 12% is 12 out of 100. Ta-da! We're all done, actually, sort of. We could reduce this into a simplest form. We are going to do that in just a moment here, but for now, let's just leave this as 12 out of 100. Okay? That lets us know that this is the same as this. These are both the same value, and this is it as a fraction. But what about 0.2? How are we going to convert 0.2 into a fraction? There's two ways to think about this. First off, you might consider the fact that, what is this? This is 0.2. What is the place that this is in? Is it the ones place, the hundredths place? This is the tenths place. In fact, another way to say this is 2/10. Right? This is in the tenths place. This number is in the tenths place. And there's a reason that we say it, because this is actually just 2/10. All right? You can take any number and just write it like that. All right? So now we find that, for example, let me actually just go over this briefly. Let's say that you had 0.234, okay? You can write this by knowing that this is the tenths, this is the hundredths, and this is the thousandths. Well, you can write this number as 234 out of 1,000. The number goes all the way out to the thousandths. This is 234 thousandths. All right, that's a trick you can use if you ever want to convert a decimal into a fraction. All right, but the base of each of these numbers is not the same. So we want to be able to compare these numbers with a little bit more ease. Now, the problem here actually says compare the two fractions by writing them in their simplest form. I'm actually not going to do that. I actually think there's a better way to consider this. And that's as follows. This is 12 100ths. It's very easy just to convert this number over here to something with the 0 in the denominator, with the two zeros in the denominator, with the 100ths. All right, and the way to do that is if we add a 0 down here, we can just add a 0 up here. So 2/10 is actually 20th 100ths. So now we're comparing 12 100ths to 20 100ths. All right, and what this means actually is that 0.2 is actually just 20%. And we know that 12 100ths is 12%. Likewise, 12% is actually 0.12. And this over here is 0.2. So these are all the different ways to write these numbers. Which one is the easiest for you to look at to compare the magnitude, the size of the numbers? Well, I like looking at these here, the percentages, to see which one's bigger, because it's obvious to me that if you miss 20% of your shots, you're actually missing far more than 12% of your shots. But likewise, you could actually look up here at 20 over 100 versus 12 over 100. 20 is bigger than 12, and if the denominators are the same, then this number over here is the greater amount of misses. Down here with the decimals, it's not, you might some people do prefer to look at it this way. They will see that 0.12 is actually a smaller number than zero point 0.2. And if you're able to see that already, good. But if you're not, then you can always convert it to one of these other numbers. Look at it in the way that suits you best. So, to answer the question, if you miss 20% of your shots, you're missing more than if you're missing 12% of your shots. So if I'm selecting someone for my team, all things being dependent on this, on how many shots are being missed, I'm going with, what was it, Dwayne? Yeah, we're going with Dwayne. We like people who don't miss this many shots. We want people to miss far fewer. We're going to pick Dwayne. All right, that's the end of the video. I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much.